Bror Fredrik coming at you with another video. If you're new to the channel, my name's Bror Fredrik, Las Vegas-based photographer, videographer, filmmaker, and part-time philosopher. Today we're going to do something different. We've toured a lot of the casino properties that are currently open. Today we're going to tour one that is actually closed, the Rio. Before we get started, I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer. I'm a trained professional. Don't try this at home. Don't go wandering around empty casinos. Don't go wandering around empty properties throughout Las Vegas. I'm not going to be responsible, and I'm not going to bail you out. So all that said, let's go take a walk around the closed Rio. A lot of people have asked me about the Rio, when it's going to open, if it's going to open, and what the future looks like for the Rio. And as of right now, there are no plans to open the Rio. A little history on the Rio. The Rio was completed construction in 1990, and it was the first all-suite resort, casino, hotel in all of Las Vegas. Every room inside is a large suite. There's larger suites, but everyone inside of this casino is an actual suite. And I've always considered this one of my favorite properties to do shoots in because of the size of the rooms. One of my specialties is boudoir photography and boudoir videography, and having a large room and lots of places inside to do the filming and take the imagery is a great asset to me. So I've done probably 1,000 shoots in this property, so it's a little sad to see it not open and not opening soon. So what has happened with this property in recent years, this past December of 2019, a company called Dreamscape bought it from Caesars for $516 million and then did a leaseback to Caesars, who gets to operate it for a yearly rent of $45 million for 2 years with a 1-year option to continue that. As you can see, we're in the valet area right now, and to see it like this is a bit sad for me. I remember many a time sitting at that booth right there and waiting for my car to be pulled up. A trick for everyone who doesn't want to wait for their car but does want to valet. Simply give the attendant a 10 or a 20 in advance and simply say, could you keep it up front for me? They'll remember you, they'll keep it right up front, you get your keys and you go, and it'd be generous to give a tip on the way out to save you the aggravation. So here we are in the main entrance, obviously boarded up. The bell desk is right there. This boarding has been up since March. They say the FedEx deliveries are still taking place, but I didn't see anyone here. Absolute ghost town, except for a few noises that we'll hear in a little while. But this is sort of a surreal experience to see it like this. And we're going to do a little power walking as we get to some of these areas. That way this video doesn't go too long, but I wanted to give you a feel of what a closed property is like. Now, I expected it to be a little different. I expected it to have some garbage, perhaps, maybe the landscaping not so taken care of, things like that. I mean, the place is 30 years old, and it is showing its age, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that they're not actually letting the property go. And I didn't see any signs of vagrants. I didn't see any signs of vandalism. So I'm sure there's some security wandering around at some point. So like I said, don't just walk through there and, treat the place like it's your backyard. I just was fortunate enough to be able to do this. I know enough people at the property, so there shouldn't have been an issue. I just wanted to show you what the closed Rio looks like. So you can see that You know, the landscape is fairly taken care of. There's no trash, there's no garbage around, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised to see that, to be quite honest. So there's the big old Rio sign. For those of you who don't know, the World Series of Poker was held here year after year after year after year. That was an absolute staple of the Rio for the past few years. This past year, in 2019, I did get to do some photography and some videography there, so that was fun. And the year prior to that, too. And I'm going to miss being able to go in and do that, too. So you saw some flowers down there, so I wouldn't say that the property is not being kept up, because, you know, marigolds don't just bloom out of thin air. So someone's keeping track of this property. And this is, that's Flamingo Boulevard you see right there. And the Rio's approximately 1 mile off the strip. So it's within walking distance. It was always considered a local casino, but as the Palms opened, it sort of got incorporated into the strip and became a quote-unquote strip property. So it does get a lot of traffic from not only the locals, but a lot of tourists. There's a lot of conventions here, and there's a lot of activity inside, especially when the World Series of Poker comes around. So now we're going to do a little power walking so we get to the next phase. And I want everyone to stay tuned till the end of the video, because I'm going to show you one of the best places in all of Las Vegas to see fireworks. And whether it's on the 4th of July or New Year's Eve or some other special event, Las Vegas might be happening. And it's also a great location to come take pictures, take videos, especially of the strip, maybe of groups, but do get permission. Just don't walk around the place and expect to have the run of it. So now we're going to walk up famous Casino Alley. Hello, hello, hello. Little scary, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of weird being that desolate. I wouldn't want to go there at night, but when the property is open, it's fully lit up, so that's never been an issue. Now this is how you would get if you parked on ground floor or level 1 of the parking lot. You'd walk down and you'd come up through that alleyway right there to get into the property. If you're on level 3 or level 4, you would use the tunnel that we saw on the way in. Again, this being quite a surreal experience to see. This, what we're about to see now, is the pool. So the pool has not been drained, so that's a good sign. It's actually fairly well kept. But that usually has hundreds of people in there. That was a party playground for years and years. Right ahead of us is a restaurant. Years ago, there used to be restaurants along here, and there was one in particular that I loved. There was when cigars were popular in the 90s into the 2000s, there was a cigar bar in there that actually allowed you to dine inside the humidor. So that was a lot of fun. Had a ton of meetings in there, ton of fun, ton of good meals, and ton of good cigars. The property itself is looking nice. I mean, the Rio's always been beautiful, especially lit up at night. But seeing it like this, boarded up as we're looking at right now, like I said, it's a bit surreal to see. And that's the sign for the Voodoo. And it is showing its age. 30 years in the desert sun is 100 years in real life. But overall, it's still looking good. What its plans are for the future, they're very uncertain right now. But I would like to see them open. The Rio itself has been plagued with a few issues, specifically related to the water supply. There's always been claims, or the water supply there has always been a little suspect for one reason or the other. And they haven't really worked it out over the years. Hopefully they will if they do reopen. And take a look down this stairs. That's That's kind of crafty looking. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend coming here at night, that's for sure. There was signs of life down in that little hole. Big old palm trees. I remember when those were 10 feet tall. Now they're 40 feet tall. So let's get going. Back out the alleyway, and I'm going to show you one of the best spots in Las Vegas right now. Could definitely use a little sprucing up in there. Nothing a little paint and a little stucco can't handle, though. Those lights were on, which was kind of unusual. I don't know what they had going on in there. And when I did go through the section where the loading dock was, there was activity. I never understood what those stairs were for. They have bleachers there for some reason. Most of the employees, that's the tunnel that I was talking about. If you're on the 4th or 3rd level, that you could walk across right into the masquerade. So let's power walk up these steps and I'll show you what I was talking about. Alright, one more flight to go. And here we are. Top floor of the Rio. One of the best views in town, besides the stratosphere, to go look at the fireworks shows that Las Vegas puts on. Look at the extent that you can see the strip right here. Now, you'd have to get here early. I don't know if you could park up there, but it's available. They don't stop people from coming up there. But it's an amazing, amazing view. Like I said, that's level 4. You see the tunnel entrance right there. Let's go take a look at this view. Pretty amazing, right? There you see the Bellagio, the Cosmo, the Aria, Caesar's Palace, Treasure Island, Mirage, Trump. And these are the train tracks. A lot of people don't know that we have a massive rail system that runs through here, and we constantly see cargo. Down in that little hole there is sort of a, how would you say, a homeless encampment. It's been there for years and years and years. When our floods come during monsoon season, that gets washed out, so it's a problem for those people. But there is a little, let's see, underground village taking place over there. But look at this view. So imagine coming here to see fireworks being shot off from the tops of all these buildings. You can see everything. It's just absolutely stunning. I love that sign. That sign just screams Vegas. The Penn and Teller show, I was there a few years ago. I went to see the show. Personally, I never got it. I mean, if that's your thing, I don't know. It didn't do much for me. That whole, one talks, the other one doesn't sort of routine. It is what it is. But that's a staple. That show's been going on. I think it would have been in its 30th year. I mean, they've been around almost as long as the headlining there, almost as long as the Rio's been open. And those two are Vegas staples. Not my cup of tea, but I'm not going to steer you away from going and seeing it. Not a soul to be seen. I'm probably the only one on the property. There might be a random security person here and there. There might be the random creeper here and there, but I didn't run into any, thankfully. And I hope you don't either if you come down. So let's go look to see what's going on that side. It's right off the 15. There's actually the exit from the 15, north or south, goes right into Flamingo, which is 1 block away from the entrance here. Looking a little bit sketchy over here. That's one of their AC units, I believe. Another monstrosity. Those things are just huge, but imagine trying to keep a casino cool or cold in the Vegas heat. Today, I think it was, the day I did this, I think it was 112, if my memory is correct. It's only 2 days ago, but they're all 112, so that's an easy guess. Again, the Penn and Teller. So I think we're gonna get out of here now. I've never, ever, ever taken this staircase down, so we're gonna power walk our way. I don't know what's gonna lurk down here. The 5P cell towers, the Rona, some zombies. I don't know. I never did this before. It doesn't exactly come out to anything open to the public, even fenced off, but let's just swing this out of the way. Alright, we're good. You know, looking a little sketchy over here, but like I said, I'm a professional. Sketchy Las Vegas does not bother Bror Fredrik. On top of this fence. Boom. And I said to myself, what the heck is this? All these cars, the place is empty. But when I looked around, I found out that is actually a Hertz rent-a-car drop-off and pickup. And these cars had a little bit of dust on them, but not too much. And most of them have out-of-state California plates, so I'm assuming they're all rentals, but evidently they've been sitting here for a couple of months, waiting for Hertz to come along and pick them up. But Hertz does not seem to be in a hurry to do that. But that was the only activity that I saw down there. And again, we're going to do a little power walking. Let's kick it in high gear. Come on, everyone. Let's get our cardio going. One last look. And we're going to go wrap it up at the big famous Rio sign. Not that one. That one. That is an amazing sign. You know, they've always kept that up. That's just a Las Vegas staple. That screams Las Vegas. It just captures everything that Vegas is and captures everything that the Rio is. So, can't wait to see that lit up again. That sign is huge, and that's still using incandescent bulbs, fluorescent and neon, from what I understand. Not using LED quite yet. But that is an amazing sign that I can't wait to see come back to life. When you open Rio, we'll be there. So I thank you for coming along for this walk, for this little adventure through a closed casino. And if you have any other suggestions of where you'd like me to visit, where you'd like me to film, feel free to let me know in the comments. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.